I'll jump directly to this part, to the revenue aspect of it. You're currently pre-revenue. You haven't done anything yet, right? But I just want to understand this audience that you're building. How do you see it in the future, contributing revenues? So I'll tell you what. Have you identified who exactly your TG is, and how do you serve them? Right. It's going to be very difficult because I see that you've not narrowed down your niche. If you look at newsletters across, right, subscribers are limited. They'll be anywhere from the range of 2,000 to 15,000 to 30,000. A majority of them. Of course, some will go into millions. But these smaller ones, they attract very high CPMs because of the niche audiences that they've been able to build. How do you feel about your audience and your revenue?
Yeah, so one particular audience that we have in mind is the aspirants for UPSC.
Right, definitely.
I think this is like I would say a godsend for people like that. Exactly. You don't need to like scour through multiple news articles to figure out what's happening in a particular event, right? So I think this is a very good supplementary reading material for them.
Right. Do you think they're going to pay for it?
Yeah, so that's the thing, right? So in terms of numbers, if you look at it, the UPSC aspirants, over 10 lakh, 1 million people apply for UPSC.
Oh, numbers are huge.
Right? Numbers are huge.
Right.
And they are paying, lots of money to get into coaching centers.
You know what? I've given exams myself, UPSC attempts. I've given it 2 times. And this was 2009.
Okay,
way long back.
Yeah.
And I have seen this with my own eyes, right? There was this guy, and it's in Delhi, Rajendra Nagar. They're very famous for coaching and all that. And of course, I won't take the name, but they're a very famous coaching institute out there. And there was this young guy who had a small cloth, and it was kind of tied up, and you could realize that there's cash inside, right? He literally just kept it on the table. Whoever that official from that coaching center was sitting there, and he said it in Hindi. He said, I've sold my land.
Right.
This is what I have. I know this is still falling short of your fees. And the fees, you can say it's a lot, it's a less, but I'm not blaming the coaching institute. They were not charging exorbitant fees or anything like that, right? But you've got to realize the situation. Somebody just, keeping it right there and saying, this is all I have. I know this is short of your fees, but I still want to, please take me in. I want to crack the exams. Right. So, of course, you're looking at a market which is...
Right. So, there are, the students themselves, they come from varied backgrounds, right? So, you can't expect someone like that, the example that you gave, I can't expect him to pay a bunch of money to just read newsletters, right?
Right.
So the idea is to reach out to these institutes.
Okay.
Right. And try to do some sort of a tie-up and see where it goes. Again, in terms, when I started EitherView, I only had EitherView in mind, right?
Okay.
I only had this newsletter.
It seems like you started more from passion.
Yes.
And more from an innate desire to spread rather than thinking about...
Yeah, so I did think about in terms of scaling, in terms of numbers. I was encouraged by the success of the Ken and FinShots.
Oh, FinShots is a great example. Yes. I'm not going to consider the Ken because Ken is proper journalism.
Yeah, there's journalism, but FinShots was like, it sort of blew up, right?
Exactly.
And I thought, that's again, it's not like a short form content. I thought maybe, they are doing it for fintech, right? Financial news and all that. I thought, nobody's doing for, politics or current affairs.
Right. But I'll tell you one major difference, right? When I don't really follow this one, the fintech one that you mentioned. FinShots, yeah. Of course, everybody knows about them.
Right.
But the idea I, as a user, was, I'm going to follow them is because it will help me make money.
Right.
Yours probably falls more in the line where it can help me pass exams.
Yeah. So exactly. So that's the realization we've come to now.
Okay.
Right? So far, I thought of EitherView as a mass market product. Right?
Okay.
Like to reach as many citizens of our country as possible.
Okay.
If required, we can also have an EitherView international edition or whatever. Right.
Right.
We can do that. But I've realized that may not be the way to go. Right. Over the past few months.
Yeah.
Because this involves a lot of research on our end as well, right? So it's not like you just curate and just
exactly. You're researching, you're writing, and
we are researching and we are putting it in a certain format, which enables you to understand the context, both the viewpoints and all that.
So you realize that You know what? Exactly, this is the mistake which many people have made. When they touch upon politics, they think that the entire world is their market.
Right.
But reality is, and politics or current affairs, right? Reality, what I've heard from many people is that mass market is usually, at least in India, is Bollywood, is politics,
right,
but not with a nuanced view. It is more of what happened where.
Right.
Right. Then it's cricket.
Right.
That becomes very massy, and I'm going to repeat this point again here today. I did that in my last episode as well.
Okay.
I spoke to someone from Indian Express a long time back, and again, idea was I was discussing about knowledgeable content on these platforms, and he clearly mentioned, what in India people want to know which color jeans Shah Rukh Khan is wearing, which color, when did a Malaika Arora go out, whom is Sara Ali Khan dating, and so forth. Right? Nobody cares about opposing views, right?
Yeah.
So coming back to the same point that you're mentioning. You've realized that your audience is very niche. So going forward, what do you...
Yeah, so that's the thing, right? So now that I've realized it's a niche audience,
right?
So I could either have like a, B2C component separate,
okay,
and do a B2B component where we reach out to these coaching institutes,
okay,
and tell them we will provide you the information, right?
So you're very clear that your audience now consists of mostly UPSC students.
I think it'll affect them immensely,
okay,
compared to a lay person,
okay,
who will only want to know, the...
Okay. So
it may not, like you said, right? Reading FinShots may help you make money.
Exactly. There has to be an end goal for the user.
Right. So for UPSC, there is a clear end goal.
End goal, right.
But for others, for lay persons, it's just their interest, right? So they want to know the different perspectives.
Right.
So that's the reason we might shift our, target audience and our entire play around revenue model and all that. Slightly, from the mass market to a niche.
That's going to happen. That's actually great to hear. Yeah. Tell me something. Did you by any chance try out any revenue models so far? Have you reached out to any brand?
No.
Any brand?
So we've not done it. Again, it'll be unfair to ask a brand to, let's say, do a tie-up with us.
Exactly.
We can do barters. I'm in talks with a few people to do barters, where we don't pay, but we do a shout out of each other,
right,
in our newsletters or outside the newsletter, wherever. But just to get money, I don't think I am giving value for them at this point in time.
Okay.
Right? Because if you are an advertiser,
of course.
2,000 odd people, even though I have a good open rate and engagement and all, but doesn't make sense from a...
I think open rate is pretty much standard what you have, but probably the number of subscribers is low, and probably the niche is not there yet. Right? It's a lot of people just following it for their own passion.
Right.